Hi, this is Chris with TweakTown, and we're with Chris from DriveSavers Data Recovery. We just happened to have a few failed drives around, and we gave DriveSavers a call and wanted to go through the experience of getting our data back and going through the recovery process.
Yeah. Well, we really wanted to show you what a customer goes through in a real-life scenario like our customers do every day, so that you could kind of get a feel for process, or as we call it, the life of a drive here at DriveSavers. So we wanted you to go through that process, not that we want anyone to have to go through the data recovery process, but it's a good kind of case scenario. So tell us, how did that process start?
Well, it actually started, I contacted you, or customer service, and explained to them my situation, and they were very receptive and of course knew exactly what I was talking about. And then DriveSavers sent a label out to me and a package to send my drive to DriveSavers.
Okay, so that first level of engagement, like all of our customers, is oftentimes by phone. They call us 24 hours a day and they need help, right? They're in a crisis, they lost data. So we find out a little bit of the case history from them, and then we offer the customer either a FedEx prepaid label or a prepaid box, which is either for a hard drive or a laptop. In your case, we dispatched a box for a hard drive that arrived at your facility the next day, to be returned to DriveSavers the following day on our dime to get it in here to the lab. So we sent the box out to you. What happened next?
After the drive arrived back here at DriveSavers, I received confirmation that the drive arrived, and it wasn't long after that that I heard from you again. What happened between those first emails and phone calls? If you could tell us a little bit more about that.
Sure. So that's the evaluation phase of the recovery. So when we receive a drive from a customer, it's inventoried, security information is taken down, and then the job is boxed up for engineering to basically start the process. The first day is the evaluation. So engineering throws all effort at a device to determine, first, is the failure recoverable? If it's recoverable, what the cost might be to the user, and can we deliver it in the time frame requested by the user. So we call the user back, in your case, called you back within a business day to inform you of the evaluation, and in your case, we found that there was an initial firmware failure with the drive with potential compound failures behind it. So in that evaluation phase, we then present you with the customer with a revised estimate for cost and the option to either proceed with the work, or if it's not time and cost effective, to cancel at no charge.
And I chose to proceed and get my data back.
Okay.
So
that's the trigger to us here at DriveSavers. When the customer says, yes, I need the data, I want the data, then we go full motion into delivering the data through the data recovery process. So what you saw here today in the tour of our laboratory is all of that process that goes into the data recovery. To the customer out in the field, there's just a wizard behind the curtain. You got to see what was behind the curtain here today at DriveSavers. In the end, that entire process on our economy service takes a maximum of 5 to 7 business days. On our priority service, it would be 24 hours. You chose that economy service, and we worked the job in our laboratory during that time frame. And we're very happy to report, of course, at the end of this recovery, that we have excellent results for you. So all the work you saw going in the laboratory today is exactly what we ended up doing in your drive. Compound failure with firmware, media damage, and subsequent file system corruption. And I've got what you're looking for in this box today. So let's take a look at what we've got.
that's amazing. You really got something off of it.
Let's take a look.
All right, well, here we are. We've got the package. Now, this would have normally been shipped out to me, but since we were coming to the lab anyhow, we just thought we'd pick it up here.
And we typically return data next day air or electronically, securely over the web if necessary, whatever the customer needs for return shipping options.
Yeah, we've got some foam to protect the drive, and you're returning my original drive to me. Can you tell us a little bit about the sticker on the drive and what that actually represents?
Sure. So when we service a hard drive, if a hard drive is still in warranty, that's the original manufacturer's warranty period, we adhere a special sticker to the drive after our service that still honors the original warranty of the manufacturer. That is, if you wanted to return defective hardware to them, they would honor that warranty and send you replacement hardware. But the original drive is typically not reliable to store the data any longer. In your case, we know we had a compound hardware failure and software corruption. So even though your data is still on that drive is in a failed state and it's not accessible. We recovered the data from the drive, we then rebuilt the original drive to its original failed state, and now we return that to you if you want to replace it for RMA, or if you want it securely destroyed and recycled. We also offer data destruction services where we could degauss and crush that drive for you if you were more concerned about the sensitivity of the data on it. And then the good data goes onto a new backup device of your choice.
Yes. So this drive, it didn't have a lot of data on it, but it had very sensitive data. So we had enough to fill a thumb drive, a fairly large thumb drive. It's still a thumb drive. Now, what other options do you have for customers when they have the data, or when you have the data recovered and ready to go back out?
Sure. Well, you can imagine if this was a 50 terabyte server, we wouldn't be putting the data on a thumb drive. But customers need choices, and the choices customers have, regardless of what we're recovering for them, is either to they can provide the backup media. That would be a new hard drive or flash stick or whatever it might be. Or if the customer doesn't supply the media, we sell drives here as well. A wide variety of drives for high compatibility and to return the data to the user as quickly as possible. And for high priority data, we can go over the wire with a secure connection and deliver data that way.
How long would it take for me to get this back if I would have had to ship it back?
Well, we would typically ship it back FedEx next day, but it is on the customer's request on how quickly they need the data. Many customers need the data yesterday. In those cases, we complement part of the data, the critical data, with an online secure delivery of the information, followed by a FedEx truck showing up with all of the data on a backup drive.
Wow, that's very good, very good. So the economy service that we chose took around 5 days. We have our data, so we're very happy about that. Anything else you would like to bring in?
Sure. A couple things about, we are a data recovery laboratory, and although you wouldn't think we ever have any repeat customers, we in fact do. We try to prevent that from happening by informing the customer not only verbally on the phone with customer service, but also in the packet of information. This very bright, obnoxious yellow document in there tells the user they must back up the data they've just recovered, that they need to maintain duplicate copies of their data because we are not retaining the data here. So we're instructing the user how to manage that data, how to back it up in a very clear document. In addition to that, they get an electronic document on the media instructing them to do the same so that they don't lose the same information twice. We help them understand they need to now be responsible for their data and start backing it up.
Oh, very good. Well, this is Chris with TweakTown, and we're here with Chris from DriveSavers, and it was a pleasure seeing you. And thank you for the lab tour. It was very impressive. And definitely thank you for returning my media to me.
Thank you very much. You're very welcome.